the tech dominated sector had one of its worst days in the stock market in a long time. We went down -3% on QQQ, and the XLK sector, which is the technology sector that has Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, and all of the other good stocks such as AVGO, AMD, ADBE, CRM, most of the chip stocks as well, had a massive down day of -4%. This is the first time that I have seen the XLK technology sector go -4% in a very long time. And if you have been watching my price action analysis, my daily price action show, you know that I have been saying that rotation will be flowing out of the technology sector and heading into the other sectors, such as XLV, which had an amazing update today, and XLF, which had another amazing update today, just absolutely beautiful, grinding higher on the melt-up operation with volume backing that move up as well, just carrying the market higher, with XLP also leading today. And the energy sector also had its breakout above 92.11, and now looks like they're going to advance higher towards 95 next. Very interesting day from the markets. The S&P 500, as we anticipated in our announcement yesterday, this is the first time that I have sent out such an announcement. And the reason why I sent out this announcement to our team was so that they can save themselves before we get these massive red days. And this was my public service announcement to our wonderful team. I said that the stock market was very overbought and trading at these very overbought levels and should start to see a pullback very soon. The technology portfolio went down 3%, one of the biggest down days seen in a very long time. The XLK sector, which is part of the S&P 500, one of the 11 sectors of the S&P 500, accounting for 22% of the weight holding within the S&P 500, went down 4%. And that is the biggest drop I have seen on the XLK technology sector ever since the bear market days from 2021 and 2022. Now, let's take a look at the price action levels on SPY as well as QQQ heading into the rest of this week as well as tomorrow's trading session. We are still inside of this bullish channel on the S&P 500, and we are very close to this level of support here at 555.89, where we pretty much rebounded or established over the last week. Now heading into tomorrow's trading session, if we retest 555.89 and bulls really hold this level, then I would anticipate bulls stepping in, especially if we see a demand candle reaction for a potential bullish engulfing candle to take out the high of today's session at 560.40 and try to fill this gap eventually at 565.16 on further upside momentum if momentum does return into the market. But it is very important to note that we had a lot of volume off of the S&P 500, despite us gapping down from 565 all the way to 558. We tried to advance to 560.25 right at the opening session, but we're not able to due to overwhelming sell-off on the tech sector. What we ended up doing is we came and sold off all the way to where the prior level of support here is. So heading into tomorrow's trading session, if we cannot hold this level 556.54 as support, we can anticipate another sell-off down to 552, retesting the 20 EMA line as well as this support line of the bullish channel, and try to turn this level into support. Now, if we fail to hold there and the S&P 500 loses its bullish channel, then we would anticipate a major sell-off down to 542, where we can hold support at that prior big support level there, where we have a very strong established level of buyers there. Now, let's take a look at why the S&P 500 sold off. Now, the QQQ sector is a tech-dominated sector. This sector, opposed to the S&P 500, which is weighted into the 11 sectors of the economy, this particular sector is dominated only by tech, and that is the reason why this particular sector is down 3%. So if we look at the price action levels for QQQ, support level is at 474.03, right at this established level here from the prior formed support level there. So once we retest this level and bulls clearly hold support, that would mean that they have established it and they can try to advance to fill this gap here from today's big gap down at 496.09. Now, do keep in mind, team, if QQQ cannot hold this support level at 474.03 heading into the rest of this week, we can sell off, fill this gap at 467, and then even sell off all the way down to try and retest the 460 area to get a test at this level of support and confirm this bullish channel on QQQ. So we have one test here, another test here establishing it, and this test right here would be the confirmation. So this test of the bullish channel would very well align with us heading into tech earnings for the next 2 weeks here. So we're heading into tech earnings season for the next 2 weeks, and this can be a really good sell-off towards 461, establishing support at 461, confirming this bullish channel, and then getting a rebound on any good positive catalyst coming in from earnings. So let's take a look at what were some of these stocks that brought down the S&P 500 as well as QQQ. Over the last 5 days, especially on YouTube, I have been very vocal about the rotation flowing out of tech and flowing into the other sectors. For reference, if we look at QQQ here, QQQ downside was led by stocks such as Apple, and we mentioned in yesterday's price action analysis that Apple was very, very overbought, trading at these very overbought levels, and that we should be expecting major downside to come, as we can see here with the stock going down 2.5%. We also shared NVIDIA as well. NVIDIA was very, very interesting. We compared NVIDIA setup with the recent rally setup that we had, the recent consolidation after the big run-up that we had, and we emphasized on this massive supply candle here that created the resistance level there, the same way that we saw it here. So let's take a look at what happened in the prior zone there. So we had this establishment of resistance there with a big supply candle, which then ended up selling off down to this support level here at 118, establishing support. And then right on this demand candle, we shared with our team that they can go long towards this level of resistance at 135, which we secured profits there. And very, very similar here. We ended up retesting 135. We ended up retesting the resistance level there, and then seeing this overwhelming supply reaction there, the same way that we saw this big supply candle there. So that's why we anticipated that rotation will continue to flow out of NVIDIA with this bear flag setup that we shared in yesterday's analysis, with our price target down at 118. I was very, very excited to come into today's trading session and see that our team congratulated me on NVIDIA hitting our price target at 118, all the way from 126 level from yesterday's session. So if NVIDIA does not hold support here, today the stock went down 7%. Although it came up a little bit and closed the session at negative 6.62%, the stock was down very big at some point in the day. And heading into tomorrow's trading session, if we cannot get an engulfing candle above 121 and instead we see some lousy, weak reversal candles, then I would anticipate this level of support being broken on this potential double top, where we go down, fill this gap here at 106, and even fill this gap here down at 190, at 95. So at 95, which is the prior breakout of the zone, this is where I would be long on NVIDIA to buy shares again heading into earnings, anticipating that they would beat earnings and continue their advance to the upside. So again, for the first time, we saw the XLK sector being down negative 4%. The XLK sector is mostly tech dominant, as we can see. Actually, it is the technology sector. So every stock in this is from the technology industry. We got Microsoft, NVIDIA, Apple, AVGO, AMD. So a lot of these stocks, if we look at AVGO is a chip, and this chip stock was down 8%. And then we have NVIDIA, AMD was down 10%. So a lot of these tech stocks absolutely got destroyed. And now you're going to ask me, where did rotation flow into if we saw rotation flowing out of all of these stocks? Well, just as we anticipated in yesterday's price action analysis, rotation flew into this sector, the technology sector, XLV. If we look at XLV, especially the stocks on my scanner today, BMY is up 5%, and that is a healthcare stock. UNH, which is one that I shared in yesterday's price action analysis, saying that it would continue to break to get more upside, especially with the break of 553. And this one had another 5% update. So just in the last 2 days that I've been sharing UNH, the healthcare sector rotation, we have seen a 10% increase on this stock. There are other stocks as well. Medtronic, this one's up 4%. So you can see every single stock that's showing up on the scanner today is the healthcare stocks. This one as well, J&J up almost 4%, ABBV up almost 4% as well. Just absolute massive rip days. So the rotation that came out of stocks like NVIDIA flew into stocks such as healthcare as well as the financials. We also mentioned rotation would be continuing to flow into the financial sector, and this is the financial sector. We can see just absolutely beautiful, another big green day, and the stocks that are showing up on our scanner here, such as JPM here. JPM had another beautiful update, 1.5% update. GS did place a new all-time high at 509, but did sell off. Bank of America here also placed new all-time highs and sold off. WFC, beautiful update with 1% update. So we can see that a lot of these healthcare stocks, as well as financials, got the rotation that was flowing out of the technology sector. So if you do not know about sector rotations yet, you must know about them, because they are so absolutely crucial. Even when you become a big investor in the future, and you build yourself an investment account, you're going to need to know where the rotations of the market are going. So these 11 sectors here are known as the 11 sectors of the economy within the S&P 500. So the reason why QQQ went down so much, almost 3%, and SPY didn't go down 3%, instead went down 1.5%, is because the S&P 500 is more diversified than the QQQ, which is heavily dominated with tech. So again, team, if these levels cannot hold on the S&P 500 at 556.54 tomorrow, I'm anticipating more downside here towards 542. And if we do get a bounce here and end up turning the 556 level into resistance, that would just form a head and shoulders heading into tech earnings season for a big sell-off down to the 513, and maybe even 504, filling that gap all the way down there. So I would not doubt if we do see that sort of downside correction in the markets, considering the very, very overbought levels that we are trading at. So let's take a look at QQQ as well really quick. And QQQ here is in this bullish channel, and we have been going from this is where it was originated, same with here, originated here, established right there, established on the support side as well, and then confirmed here, meaning we have confirmed the resistance level there, especially with that big bearish supply candle. And so far we are getting that overwhelming sell-off on that big bearish supply candle reaction off of that candle there. So now what we are essentially seeing is a pullback down to this particular support level, as well as that gap fill at 467.50. So if we do retest that level and then see a big demand reaction, especially heading into earnings season for the next 2 weeks, then this would confirm this bullish channel, where bulls can step in at the 465 area and try to advance and continue to go up in this bullish channel here. Now, if we cannot hold this bullish channel at 467, filling the gap there and still showing weakness, then I would anticipate this level to be lost and us going all the way down to 412 next on QQQ, with rotation continuing to flow out of the tech stocks. So again, team, in yesterday's price action analysis, we shared NVIDIA. We shared NVIDIA bear flag here, and the bear flag played out really, really nice. So I was very happy to come into today's session and see that our team was congratulating me on this beautiful target hit at 118. Another stock that I shared that would see a bear flag breakdown was Microsoft. Microsoft here had the evening star reversal, and if we look at the evening star reversal, this is what it looks like. It formulates at the very top, and what it signals is that we get a big demand candle, and then followed by a doji, which is an indecisive candle, and then a massive bearish supply candle, as we can see here. And that was clearly followed with more downside, because the bulls were not able to counter it and engulf that big supply bar. The fact that they were not able to close above 467 showed that they were weak, and this is the reaction, the big supply reaction we got off of that weakness. We ended up gapping down to 463, creating a big supply bar, and then consolidating that for about 4 days, which then led to more downside, as we shared from yesterday's price action analysis, to continue to stay away from Microsoft. If you have been staying away from Microsoft, as we have been mentioning, you have been doing an amazing job. We shared McDonald's setup with our viewers as well, and this had an amazing update as well. So another stock that I shared was UNH, which is part of the healthcare sector, and this one did phenomenally well, printing another 5% update on that melt-up operation, which is one of the most powerful strategies. And if you don't know how that works, I strongly encourage you to check out the prior classes, because we do cover that. So team, hopefully that helps you with today's price action analysis, and I hope you have an amazing day. Looking forward to seeing you all in tomorrow's trading session. Take care all as well.